Hello, this is Jay the I Am on the Very Opinionated Show. We're gonna take a quick break, real quick. We're gonna come back with my main man, Charles C. Yo, this is your boy Jay the I Am on the Very Opinionated Show. I got a good friend of mine, Charles C. Before we get started, I want to do a quick shout out to the Quality Podcast. Those guys are doing good things over there. Go listen to them. Subscribe. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and become part of the family. Before I get started, I want to say the views expressed in this podcast are for informational purpose only and do not constitute professional advice. Opinions are personal to the speaker and may not reflect those affiliated organization. Listener discretion is advised, and we encourage independent research. This podcast is not a substitute for professional constitution. All right, we got that out the way. We paid some bills. Man, look here, Charles. Man, I just want to thank you, man, for coming on, because I know I got a history buff person on this show, and they know what the business is. And I said, this guy, he knows history, and I've been waiting to get him on this show. Of course, technical difficulties on his end and getting everything situated, and we finally got him up and running. And him being a part of the show is a great asset to this show. Charles Carter, talk to me, Doc. How's it going tonight?
Doing great, fantastic.
All right. You know what? I don't know if you got my my kind of like itinerary, and I just I got like three things I kind of want to talk about, and I'm not going to be all over the place, with the topics, but I know you got good insight on the subjects, and if one would look at what I had put down, we're going to talk about pretty good subjects, and I think it would be beneficial to the listener as well as the viewers. Now, my first one, Charles, I want to ask you. Of course, living in this society as a black man, but not just as a black man, just as a man in general. When did you see the nucleus of the family kind of started, edging away? We both, grew up with, two-parent homes and stuff like that, because this for me is kind of passionate. But a lot of people don't know that at the age of 12, I seen my parents divorce. But it really didn't change, our behavior, because, man, we were just, afraid of doing wrong, period. I think growing up for me, we really wasn't even scared of the police. We were scared of our parents, But give me your opinion on that.
Well, just like you said, I'm older than you, and when we came up, I came up at the end of Jim Crow,
Right?
and you had families. You very seldom had divorces, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, and then you was taught morals and values, but now with this generation, man, seem like when we integrated, the black community kind of fell behind, man, so to speak. So far as
Oh, wow.
we start when we were
Sorry.
segregated. You still there?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at you. I got you on solo. I
Okay.
want you to.
Well, when we were segregated, we was kind of confined to our own communities. I mean, you grew up in Houston, and I used to
Right,
come visit my relatives, and I used to come visit my relatives, like my father's sisters and brothers. Well, they all was over like in Fifth Ward, off of Homestead around there.
right,
So when we integrated, we integrated with white people. A lot of the stuff that they were doing, we wasn't familiar with, man. I mean, we wasn't familiar with, like, you know, drugs was being introduced. We didn't do nothing like that.
right, right,
Like when I was growing up, we never saw anything like that. So once I
right,
integrated with with white people, man, these guys were selling uh, 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 ecstasy and marijuana and all that stuff.
right, right,
And so that's when I saw see the black community start to kind of decline.
right,
And I'm talking
right,
about so far as values, cause like I said, I'm a little older than you, because it was kind of like the African saying, when you're in the community on the block, it was a village. Everybody took care of you, and
right,
if you visit your neighbors, whatever, and you got out of line, well, they would tell your parents about it, or they'd get on you themselves. Because
right,
even your parents would relate to the people in the neighborhood. If they act up, don't be afraid to put the timber to them. And then we don't do that no more. Look,
right,
man, when I was in school, they used to whoop your butt. I'm talking about the teacher,
right,
and
right,
that
right,
all on the way there, right?
right,
So
right,
that's child abuse. And now you got social media and all this stuff. We just being exposed to everything, right?
right,
So
right.
then crack invaded our community,
Exactly.
and yeah, so and you'll notice crack is a chosen drug for black folks, and
But
when
I was trying
they
to figure out why did
once
they
this
choose? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Charles. Go ahead. Go ahead.
well, it was kind of like this, man. I give you a prime example. My first experience, friends, try this, and I
Right.
did.
Right.
Well, we was going where he was going to get the stuff was from the white community.
Excuse me.
He wasn't getting it from no black people, yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think we were even. Man, it wasn't really in the community like
Now, I
that.
mean, I, I guess I can say this: when rap came in, man, it just kind of took the black community, set it back.
The rap music.
And that's
Well,
in
yeah.
my personal opinion.
Right. Right.
Would you?
You know what? I'm gonna kind of lean, to the middle on that, because if I can remember, even in the '70s, even though they had a few artists in the '70s that rap, but it was still being introduced. I know on the West Coast, because and then Chicago, and areas like that where during the '70s, the gangsters and all that other stuff. But I know what you're saying, because rap came real heavy like in the late '80s and then early '90s, and then that's when you really start hearing the lingo or the verbiage, Dope Man with by NWA and all that other stuff, and it just
Yeah,
caught
yeah, yeah.
it just caught wave, you know, I
Yeah,
still
you're right.
remember, like, even Curtis Blow even talked about it, but he was so unique with his words. You have to really like be into that crowd to know what Curtis Mayfield was talking about. And hell, I was in my younger days because I had two older other brothers, And my oldest brother would listen to Curtis Mayfield, and he was like, "Do you know what he's talking about?" And I didn't catch it on. I didn't catch on till later.
You kind of cut out of
Right, right. And I just and you do got a good point because rap music really kind of like set the tone.
it. Did and look, when rap first come onto the scene, you had people like James Brown, them Bible
Right,
Womack doing a little talking in the song, but it wasn't considered rap. So,
right.
but it was kind of like I guess when the rap was in New York, it was about culture and what was going on in Houston and LA.
Exactly,
Oh man,
exactly.
it
Yeah.
just turned into pimping and bitches and hoes and
Oh,
drug dealing and all that.
yeah,
And these kids, man, they just lost, man.
yeah. It's
Another thing that has taken on is they just done went overboard with tattoos. I mean,
yeah.
you see, I be at
Oh,
the
yeah.
gym working out. I see, I be at the gym working out. These females, uh, uh, especially Caucasian and Latino
Right.
women. Oh man, they got the whole body almost tattooed, and that's to me that's very unattractive.
It is. It is. You know
It's
what?
kind of
Yeah. Go ahead. Because I've never been attracted to a woman with a bunch of tats. That just, for me.
no, I don't like all that writing and stuff. I mean, all over they say it's art, but I mean, they just done took it to the extreme, man.
Right.
But anyway, so back to what we were saying. In my opinion, when the black community changed is when we integrated. And
Yeah.
I mean,
I can say
hey
that. Yeah.
man, we got introduced to the European culture, uh, all the drugs and pornography. I never saw nothing like that, man.
So let me ask you this. So basically, what you're saying is integration kind of like really messed us up, the black community up by us integrating, in your opinion.
Yeah, well, uh, I guess the whole thing that Farrakhan them teach
Yeah.
basically is separation. But the big fight is, I think, the big fight with Al Sharpton them was that it wasn't that they was in the 67. We ain't trying to move to your community. We just want the government funds that you giving to the white community to come into our community
Exactly.
and in the school, in the schools and housing and all that stuff.
Right.
And
Right.
but because now, if when you was in school, when you went to a white school, the teacher couldn't whoop your butt, and if
No.
they found out your parents were doing it, they would file on you.
And that one there, I think that rule really came into effect. Uh, ooh, I want to say it was around like when I was in the eighth grade, and I noticed uh, that a lot of parents was kind of losing their rights in chastising their own kid. And the crazy part about it is those kids that was getting saved from an ass whooping uh, had kids, and then they allow the school system to continue with that instead of saying no. No, we want to, keep it as it is, so y'all can correct our child if they get out of behavior. I give you the right to do that. Now, I think some schools still allow that, but the parent themselves have to actually uh, give that okay
I didn't
on
know that.
on the form to hey, chastise my child. But of course most school is not going to really go for that because of course, even though paperwork is foul. But let's say you get a coach and overdo it, somebody really aggressive, and then the child come home really, really, really bruised. And of course, it's gonna be probably a different story then. But I mean, I think without even an equivocation in the point of, man, look, nobody ain't got to tell me how to discipline my daughter. I would tear her butt up at home. When she gets out of line, I straighten her out. I ain't got to look. I ain't got to act a fool going to the school. You tell you tell me she cut up. Okay, I got you.
Well, they'll say, well, you don't want your kids scared of you. Yes, you do. To some extent, you do.
Exactly. Bull crap. Yeah, I want the all to be scared.
Yeah,
I
need
her to have the fear in her.
Yeah. And not to the point where you beating them, but
right.
It's kind of like trying to make a kid when you have kids, and when kids get to experiment and running with peer pressure, what you are doing, the kid don't understand. You really molding the way that you see life on them.
Exactly.
And they don't tend to get that. That's what it's all about. Because you're trying to make them basically, well, look at us, what we've done and where we've come, and we trying to mold you to be that same way.
Right. And I think what it is, Charles, is that people don't equate that behavior now that it had caused, I think, taking away certain methodology and discipline and home life had caused some of these kids to have some mental issue a little bit. Now, that's just my opinion because I work with kids. I have seen it. I'm looking, and I'm saying to myself, Charles, you worked in the school district for a brief moment, and and we say you can look at a kid like that boy need his behind just beat with a good belt, and you like, oh, you certain kids you can look at, and then certain kids you look at and say, no, he really has some mental issues, and he need to be dealt with, accordingly on a professional level. But some kids you just say, yeah, they just need a good behind whooping, but
they do, and if you don't whoop them, you need to, put the fear in them as if you are. And I guess, man, it's kind of like, you know something else too that I realized, that a lot of the younger kids don't believe in God. I run into a lot of kids say they're atheists.
Well, you know what? That was my next point that I was going to bring up. But let me do this here right quick, man. Let me go to this commercial break and hold your thought on that. We're going to get back on the Very Opinionated show. All right, we are back here live on the Very Opinionated show with my main man, Charles C., a real buff history guy. And I mean, that Negro, he's really buff because he works out. But you know what, Charles, before you left, I was just for to bring that up, is that do we strike the fear of God in our kids? Why do parents don't strike the fear of God? Because our parents did that. Not only we got a behind whooping, but they told us if you keep acting bad, you're going to hell. That was told in my house. I'm a PK kid.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. And going back a little bit, I watched a documentary on Luther Campbell, and when he was with Two Live Crew, and he made those explicit, very X-rated concerts, right?
Right.
So white America came down on him about that. So he was saying, well, it's freedom of speech. So in
Right.
other words, you sitting up here on a stage, pulling your pants down, having a young lady giving you oral sex, and you calling women B word, and hey, it's the consequence of what you're saying. It's not that they stopping you from free speech, but it's the influence that your speech is doing, and the damage that you're doing to kids that's following you.
Right. Right.
And he kept, and he won a victory for that with free speech, and the state of Florida was trying to ban him, but like I said, they see right now, man. Right now, me and my brother talk all the time, and this is, like you said, the very opinionated show. This is my opinion, in my opinion.
Right.
They need to take Snoop Dogg off the TV and put him in a cage and lock him up. He ain't nothing but the worst influence it is on these kids. You understand what I'm saying? Throwing gang signs, and every time you see him, he promoting alcohol and talking, street talk, and got all these kids emulating him, man.
Not the dog.
Hey, I mean, seriously. I mean,
I understand.
So it's kind of like, in my opinion, that the powers to be is using this tool and paying him very well to lead the community, the kids astray.
Right.
Down the wrong path. And so
really, it's no existence in them kids about the fear of God, because you know what, man, I honestly, I'm going to agree. I agree with you on it, because I just believe that these kids don't even have no type of fear of God. They can care less about really hell or heaven. They just don't have no conscience, because if I ask kids, and I really don't, but I may ask, boy, do you go to church? They like, what is that? They don't even know what is that, and so if that's not being taught at home, I guarantee you, I can see why they act the way they act. Period.
Well, look, now watch this, T. This, at one time, like when you was in church, I was going to your church, that was some years ago. So I kind of evolved in a religious spirituality. So my take on religion is this. It's kind of like, okay, when you went to elementary school, you went to middle school, and you went to high school, you graduated. Okay, what did I learn from that? The basics was reading, writing, and math. Right. So your mom and daddy made you go to church. Okay. Right. So in my opinion, I keep saying that what I learned from it is thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, and thou shalt not lie. And I take those principles with me on a daily basis. And really what is being taught is the law of the land.
That's in all the church. Right.
They teaching you if you do this, it's consequences on both sides with man, and they teaching you that it's also with God, right? So getting back to this kid now, I got married again. I got a kid. We ain't never been to church with her, but we teach her right and wrong. Never had no problems with this kid. Right. And not tooting the horn. My thing with kids is this. The day is December 28, 2024. You talk about the day and what happened yesterday. Don't start talking about she in college, going to college. I can't start boasting and saying what's going to happen.
Exactly. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But what she's done is she went to school, honor roll student, got honor roll in sign language, honor roll in the academic, and got scholarship. But like I said, we've never been in a church.
Now, ain't that something? So, in other words, she took what you have applied to her life.
That's it.
And that was on the basis of learning, knowing right from wrong, teaching.
And we talk about.
Go ahead.
That's it. If you could get parents, if kids don't want to go to church, teach them the law. If you're teaching them the law of the land, that's what church is teaching you basically anyway, because the church and the state has always been intertwined, even with Catholicism and the kings and the emperors.
Right.
It's always been intertwined with the state. And what they do is, like you say, the church teach you the laws of the land. If you don't steal, don't kill, don't lie, you have consequences. Right. Those very principles that the church is teaching fall right over into everyday society and living. And you have to teach kids that. And because I ran into, I went to visit somebody.
Go ahead.
What day? I mean, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, right? So it was a kid there, right?
Right.
So the conversation come up. Do you believe in God? No, I'm an atheist. Okay, that's what he said, right?
Right.
And I said, why? And he said, well, it's no God, and so we talking about that. So my thing is this, man. Common sense tells you all you have to do to look at the creation to know that something created it other than a man or woman.
I just, you know what, man, you dead on, you spot on with that. That comes from him not having no model at home to even respond that way. Now, I could be wrong.
No, you're right, because he's got a track record, and he said he had 2 or 3 felonies.
See, now,
so it's pretty, look, the record alone is telling you he don't believe in no God, right?
Right. Exactly. He just go because he, like you just said earlier, is that basically the church is teaching you the laws of the land. So of course he like, well, he ain't been taught at home, so he just go out there and do whatever. Because I guarantee you, man, Janet my baby, she would tell anyone. She said, "Daddy, pray with me before I go to bed." And she always want me to put the oil over her head and everything, because normally she says she will see spirits, and sometimes I would see them just floating through here or whatever. But
I believe
and I believe her. And the reason why I said it is because it wasn't, she's not telling me out of fear, like fear of this thing. It was just saying, "Oh, that's just what I seen." But I remember, how you prayed over me. So I just began to pray, and that's the end of that. He just left. I said, "Oh, okay, sweetie." I said, "You see, you just, do what I tell you to do, and I guarantee those spirits will leave." I said, "Nah, but you got to be considered that you're a child and you have a pure spirit. Your spirit is not corrupt, And when I mean corrupt is, it's no deciphering. You're not really warned right now against your flesh or your spirit, because you don't. I said, a daddy and mama, that's what we got to do every day. It's certain days I want to go and cuss people out at work, but I can't do that. My spirit won't let me allow me to do that, or cuss people out at the grocery store. Like, get the hell out the way. You see me coming down the aisle, stuff like that. But my spirit, man, holds me back from doing certain things that may end up me breaking the law. So I think, when people don't have no sense of God in them, you don't even have to go to church to understand that. That, like you said earlier, hey man, I can just look at the creation around me. Matter of fact, I can just look in the mirror, Charles.
Yeah.
I can just look in the mirror.
Well, and you know what, man? That spirit also, it lead over into the animal kingdom and everything that like how you treat people.
Exactly. But people just don't have no conscience these days. Hey man, we're gonna hit another commercial break. Hold on to your thought, because what I want to get you to answer for me is, when will Black folks wake up from this nightmare they are in dealing with Christianity? You hold your thought on that. We're gonna take this.
It's hard to undo brainwashing, man.
Hey man, hold your thought on that. And look, because I know you got a mouthful for that one. Hold your thought.
No,
We'll be
definitely,
back on the Very Opinionated Show
definitely. I
with
got definitely got a mind full for that.
We're back here live on the Very Opinionated Show with my main man, Charles C. Carter. Uh, I left out with a question. When would my counterparts, uh, my African American brothers and sisters, will stop claiming that they are Christians, other than just saying, "Hey, man, I'm a spirit. I'm on this spiritual journey to know thyself." So, I mean, because I have talked to many, pastors and preachers, and when I share with them that I believe religiosity have damaged the African American community so severely that they use that as a slavery tool to keep us in bondage. Tell me your thoughts on that.
I agree. And let me talk about my journey into awakening. And just like you, raised in the church, look, made to go to church.
Yeah.
Wasn't volunteering to go. Okay, but why? Because we go back to your parents is molding you. Okay,
Right.
In other words, as soon as you get up off of the floor and start touching the stove, she pop your hand. Well, they molding you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So went to church, had two uncles that was preachers, and I think what kind of turn people away a lot is a lot of the people that's preachers done turn it into game.
Wow.
It's like from where I'm from, and I'm not gonna say the biggest downfall with preachers is sex. That's what usually get them, and greed and money.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you
And
can look into
what
even
what
your
what woke me up was I started looking at these preachers having these big okay, they start out local, and their goal is to end up getting on channel 13 and channel 11, and
right.
then you start reaching more masses of people, right?
Right.
We got all these big churches, and let's just face it's kind of like one of my brothers said, it's kind of like you being pimped on the unknown.
Right.
That's where the fear come in.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I agree with you 100% because my
so
daddy was a pastor. So
yeah, because even like I had this encounter with this guy, and he was a Muslim, and he was on my job, and he used to confront me, and I was Christian because I was going to your church. You remember I used to come over there sometime.
right.
So boy, I was fighting him, man. You know what I'm saying? I was going
You
to the job trying to come up with stuff. So it's kind of like you start out in a little small lake,
right,
studying and getting information.
right.
And when it all ended up, I was in the ocean. I done went back to Rome, Greece, Mesopotamia, and Egypt.
Yep, I remember that.
And then I started seeing this stuff that, whoa. When I found out about the Nicaea Council, about Constantine, that the New Testament didn't even exist until Constantine had a council.
Right.
And he chose 300 bishops, sat down, and they put this book together and they merged it with the Old Testament.
Right, right.
And I looked at his rap sheet. He was a conqueror.
There you
Look,
go.
this guy. They say killed his brother-in-law, killed his son because he thought the son was gonna rise up. Say he killed his wife, and I'm like, and that was in his home. That was in his home. I ain't talking about on the battlefield, right?
Right, right, right.
So, okay, so you get these people, even in my family, you get people. We scared. People are scared, man.
Well, we talked about that earlier.
This came up, man, at that same house when I was talking to that kid. I kind of went into the way I'm talking now with the elder.
Right.
And this is what a lady said. My mother gave it to me, and I think it's good enough if it come from her. Well, the point is, nobody won't research nothing.
Well, they're afraid.
They're afraid. They just can't believe that somebody would lie to them about what they call God, Allah, Krishna, Buddha,
right.
whatever.
Right.
They just can't comprehend. Ain't no way they would lie.
Right. And I think that's the inner man saying, man, how would I respond when I hear that I actually been lied to? And I think they are afraid, like, okay, now what I'm going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do after that, after I get this information, because now basically what they're saying, Charles, is that you done destroyed my whole thought process. You done destroyed everything that I have believed in, and it's all based on a lie. And
boy, look, you are right on point. My brother told me this. He said, I hear what you're saying, but I might miss the boat. That's what you just said about the people.
Yeah.
Because you can understand, man.
Yeah.
If you've been told something, we 60 years old, 50 years old, and then here's somebody trying to come in and usurp and tell you something new.
That's program.
You brainwashed.
Well, look, man. I seen this experiment with they had mosquitoes in a jar, and they all flying around, and they removed the jar. The mosquitoes or whatever the bugs were still flying close together. Didn't like, okay, I'm free now. They all flew still, like as though they was in the jar, but the jar was removed. So it lets me know that people might, man, look, when you came to me with information, I was a fool, because my dad always taught me, hey, look, there's always one way to get to a destination, period. So you got to think outside the box. Like, okay, you know what? I'm going to apply that to what Charles is presenting before me. So when I got to reading, then I got to looking, and I got to comparing, I got the observation. Then now I'm going to church. I was a youth pastor then, and I'm actually going to church, and then I'm observing stuff that goes on in the church. And I said, Lord have mercy. I said, you know what? I said, I'm gonna have to pull back and really, look in the mirror, because I've been lied to. And and I was in error in telling young folks, what thus said the Lord, and now don't get me wrong, Charles, that because I always lead the young kids to the book of Psalms and Proverbs just for wisdom, and it's like good motivational statements. And I'm
it's a good it's a look. Religion is a good thing. It keeps society working.
There you go.
The ones that won't adhere or apply those teachings, they got a place called TDC for them. Okay? So look, religion, 75% of society, religion is a good thing. But we're saying, what me and you are talking about is now, when I was a child, you could tell me stuff, but once I've grown up, I become a free thinker now. I'm looking at it different. Now, nobody, when you start talking like you and I, the first thing, family members, do you believe in God? I never told you that I didn't believe in God. You know what I'm saying? That's they can't, and they can't get out of their head. So the first thing is this: go and look back and trace the rap sheet of the people that gave you this.
There you go.
Okay. We won't do that. Okay.
No, we not, because
we sitting here right now, going into history. We're not being biased or racist. We just telling what come out of the history book that was given to us. Now, here you is, picked us up, transported us like sardines in a can in a boat, brought us to different shores, put us on the market like you sell horses, split up families, sending them to Mississippi, Alabama, Texas. 100 years later, I go to Mississippi. I said, Dick, I saw somebody now that looked just like you, identical. Well, probably your ancestors, your dead cousins. So then raping people.
Exactly. But they were teaching religiosity back then.
Yeah. So now what I'm talking about is, now you got God endorsing thuggery, murdering, and rape. Because you telling us God has blessed America, but the rap sheet that you have, it doesn't add up, man.
Exactly.
So that's what made me start questioning that.
And you know what, y'all? It was an eye opener, because of course, when you start hearing it put that way, in a sense, like, man, no one ever explained it to me that in that way, where it questioned my my thought process and the way how I've been taught to think about religion. You heard it plenty of time. Don't you question God? Big Mama and them. Don't you question God?
Yeah, your mama told you that.
So I'm like, so I asked the question one time, well, why not? I can't question God. I mean, I'm like, why not? If you are telling me that I need to be, I'm supposed to have a relationship with God, why not? I cannot question God. Don't you question your spouse? You want to know something, you question their spouse. You're like, hey, you in a relationship with your spouse.
And look, what God don't want you to question.
Exactly. Especially if you're saying I'm the Father. If He's my Father in heaven, why can't I not go and ask questions so I can get a better answer?
See all these things that we've been taught, that God is a man. Okay, so you got people saying, well, are you a believer? I'm a believer. They don't understand. Believe means you don't know.
Right.
But when you sitting up here, you sitting up here saying, I'm a believer. Okay. Believe means you don't know.
Exactly.
Okay. The next thing, Tig, is this. Well, why can't I see God? Well, you got to have faith. Well, okay, listen now. I'm faith. Look, faith means you don't have no evidence to answer my question, to show me what I just asked you. What did all of this? Bring it to the forefront and and expose it to us. Because it goes back again. The founding fathers, the American people that supposedly founded this country, they were deists. Deism means that they believe something created all this and left and let man handle it. Well, all the evidence showing what they believe is happening, ain't it?
Right.
Look. How can you, the rap sheet, and this is history, how can you beat me every day from sun up, sundown? You won't, if Sunday still is segregated, you can't, you won't even, every Sunday, you got black churches, white churches. Then your history book said you killed 150 million Native Americans. You killed 15, 30 million slaves. You dropped a bomb on everything. You dropped a bomb on Nagasaki. You conquered Africa. Wait a minute, man. Check the history and the rap sheet of the people that gave you this.
That's all you got to do.
They won't do that.
They won't do it. Why? Because that goes back to uh, I cannot believe that God will allow
That's it. That's it.
something has to
That's it, T. That's it.
something has to because really, if that's the case, Charles, you mean to tell me for 400 years that's a hell of a gap? I would never catch up. Black people would never catch up to that.
That when you and
You
know
never,
your main
no matter what they try to do, Charles, we would never catch up.
now, but look, man. Now let's be fair. Let's be fair.
Okay.
All societies. Look. Remember Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. George, he was the heir to the king.
Right.
James L. Jones was the king, and the wife was the queen.
Right.
But that was in all societies.
Exactly.
Look, the president and the first lady is the same thing. And you got T.D. Jakes them running around in hollering, these black preachers. She the first lady, taking on the same thing.
Exactly. Take
And
on the
then
same
when you go to the church, the preacher lifestyle is better than anybody in the church, and he'll tell you that I'm being blessed from God. No, man, you're being blessed out of my pocket. I mean, we look. Hey, let's just call it like it is.
Oh, yeah, but
so what happened? Let's prove this point. When Carlton Pierce was brought up under Oral Roberts,
exactly,
and somebody came to some kernel of knowledge in him, and he started researching just like Reggie White.
Yeah.
When he got the truth and tried to take it before it's flopped, they left him, and the next thing you saw, it was a for sale sign in the front of the church. Why?
Yeah.
Because the members weren't now paying the bill.
Paying the bill, no more tithes.
Yeah, no more tithe. So you got people, these preachers out here got reserved parking spots. And then you know what else is all messed up to me? You got the person that leading us, presidents, they come to town, they shut down the whole highway, and the story of Jesus is nothing like that.
Man, I tell you, boy, see, and this is why I tell you, Charles, I say the most brainwashed group of people in society, I believe, is African Americans when it comes to...
Wait, now, Rev. Now, watch this. All races are brainwashed.
It is. But I said the most for us.
But you said we the easiest. Hey, we the easiest to manipulate.
Right, because we don't question. And again, that stems back from how we was raised. And because remember, every household, later on wasn't have that two-parent where the dad like, wait a minute, hold on now, we're gonna teach them right. We ain't gonna be telling them. But then it start being that single parent, and then big mama them saying, don't you question God and all this other stuff. So you're not gonna even question your parents. You're not gonna question grandma.
No.
You're not gonna question the white man on the job. You're not gonna do no kind of question. So we've been programmed to not question anything. We just accept. Now, the thing about it, I'm kind of looking. It spills over into our everyday lives as well when we don't question something that we're not really understanding, or your spirit is just not really at ease with it or in line where you want. And black folks won't say nothing; they just go ahead and take it, and that's not a good thing, because if you're not to a point where you have to question something, to me, you just accept anything.
Don't think.
Right. Right. And that's not a good thing.
No.
And definitely I don't teach Jana like that. Man, Jana is so expressive. I can tell you right now, she's going to question everything that I say, and she will ask why. It's a good thing. I said, baby, ain't nothing wrong with you.
So you don't shut her down.
No, I explained it to her. So when I explained it to her,
so right. Hey man,
you were like, yeah, okay, I understand now.
Yeah, that's good, man. And see, just like I said, people are listening to us talking. Well, they don't believe in God. No. Look, all you're doing is now going back researching where this came from and who gave it to you.
Yeah,
Okay?
the concept.
Look how the person that gave it to you segregated you, worked you every day, beat you every day.
Ain't that something, man?
And still they said they was giving the slave owners would give certain people over the people to preach, and they couldn't even read, but they was up. Look, they gave an example in history. Had a Bible up there and was upside down. but he's preaching to the people. So what I'm saying, what my basic thing is now, like what you saying, I kind of look at it like now. I look at it like, I believe, and believe mean I don't know. I don't know, but I know something created the universe, created the ocean, created the animal. But every race of people got a different story on what did it.
You know what, y'all? I would say this here, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this here, because I believe the majority of each race, I would say, have been programmed in a certain way of thinking, not only thinking, but thinking towards each other. And I think that's where the issue gonna lie, because still every Sunday is the most segregated time in America.
Yeah.
And probably all over the world. It doesn't matter, because even with Snow, where she would tell me about, they have Orthodox, and then you have the traditional ones who is Muslim. And man, look at that's conflict. How y'all have conflict and y'all look the same, but y'all got different religion. That don't even make sense. Oh man, man, you a certain type of religion, they'll try to kill you.
It's coming from man.
And coming from man. And seeing
that's what you can't make people see. Is what look, they put in the Bible that black people are cursed to be servants of white people because Ham looked at Noah in the nude. Now I don't see. It's a hit.
People don't know about that one. They don't even know about that one.
No, it's a history. A black lady, U of A, she expounded on that. She said that's the biggest propaganda she said he used propaganda in the Bible, to brainwash people.
Yeah.
And then I showed you in the Old Testament, I'm showing all my people where they said, if man, what it said, if a temple is built by hand for man, God is not residing. Remember I sent you that?
Yeah, I remember the Book of Acts.
Yeah, I'm asking my people, they go to church every Sunday, they don't have a clue. They ain't never seen that.
That means God ain't nowhere in the middle of none of that mess. And that's
now look. Well, I'm gonna go out on the limb on that one. I don't know, but like I said, it shows suspect. It shows suspect, right?
Hey. Reason I'm laughing because, man, look, my dad was an evangelist and pastor for over 30-some years. And I seen a lot with him. Then when I became a minister, I seen a lot in 20-some years. And I'm like, man, what is going on here? Man, Charles, this one incident, let me tell you, we was at church at a revival. And we all in the back before the main minister to get up to come out and speak. So after they took up the offering, because they don't take up offering at the end of the church, they try to take it up before the minister come up. But I'm gonna do a catch twofold for you. So that night, the guests, the home pastor said, "Hey, let's do offering after the minister preach." And I'm trying to figure out why he's doing it, because it's like breaking protocol. But nevertheless, that would happen. Okay, fast forward. He preached, the minister preached. They took up the offering. We all went to the back. He broke off the minister from the offering that everybody took up. He went into the basket. He counted his man X amount of dollars. And he split the rest of the money among the ministers that was back there with him. I said, "Nah, I took it because hey, I needed gas money that night anyway." I said, "Okay,
why not? Hey, man,
right.
what you saying is game. It's
But I never seen that.
I give you a prime
I was
example.
like my first or second year in the ministry. I was like, "What is going on?" You know, I never experienced that, but I didn't. It didn't really set right with me. But you know, I didn't know. I'm young. I didn't. I just.
Well, you still your conscience wasn't feeling. Hey, look, I give you a prime example. I go home. I got some ministers in my family, so I'm driving a convertible vet, right? So they just come up compelling. Yeah, man, I do this and that. And my church just gave me a raise for $3,000. Two of them told me that, right? Okay, so in other words, do you realize what you just told me?
Yeah.
In other words, it's about money.
Yeah, it's about money, Charles.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, if you want to impress me, get your butt out of the church on Sunday morning and go to these neighborhoods and help elderly people build, fill cracks in the windows and doors and get them air conditioning. Yeah, all you teaching is if you're in the first ward, you're trying to teach them to get to the third ward. If the one in the third ward, they're trying to get them to the suburb.
And Charles, they used to have pastors like that. My pastor, former pastor, when I was growing up, Pastor Cooper, he was working at the for the Houston Parks and Recs cutting grass on the tractor and come on Sundays and preach. So I already know. Even my dad worked at the post office, but at a church. So you know now, fast forward because man, you know how many old people houses me and my daddy went to. We cut their grass. You know,
they don't do that no more, man.
They don't do that no more. They don't even do that.
I'm putting the point. When I was in delivery, you know, my mind opened. So we deliver these small refrigerators, right?
Right.
We deliver small refrigerator to Dr. Ed Young.
What?
Then,
right. I remember.
Look. We go over off of Hirsch Road and Homestead to a church, need paint, air conditioning units. Wait a minute. These people, okay, let's think. These people worshiping the same God. What's the difference in the two?
Yeah.
You look. It's the clientele in the suburbs as opposed to the people living in South Park and Third Ward. The qualification of jobs pay is different.
Exactly.
So now, did that make sense? What I just said? They worshiping the same God, but they worshiping in a shack. And this man out here got 25 or 30,000 members. These people, baby, look. My brother got go to a church in Fort Worth. They bought a house, turned it into a church, and he said probably got out of 50 people, 10 of them pay, and they always wondering. Look to prove your point. He said the pastor wanted a bigger church. Went to the bank. He a deacon, and him and another guy. They sat down with the banker. And the banker, they want to get like 400,000 or 500,000. So the banker asked him, "Well, what you got for collateral to put up?"
Right.
He said, the preacher, "Well, I got my congregation and I got faith in God." And you know what the banker told him? Look, God is running heaven, this down here on earth. What was the preacher? What was the banker telling him? That ain't gonna fly, bro.
That is not gonna fly. You gotta come up with a better story than that. You better tell me that you gonna put this property up or something, your house and this church house to get that.
The property wasn't enough. He was telling them on his credibility with God was backing him. That's what he was saying.
We came across the same thing when I was youth pastor, and we had enough money from the county because the county gave us additional. From the 900,000 that they gave us additional 100,000. So we was a little over $1 million. So, but I mean, yeah, they bought new land and everything. But watch this: you hire us to do the work. You hire us to do the work, and then they dupe you out of at least 400,000. But you paid 300 for for the property that the church can go on. And you still didn't get the whole church completed because you wanted to go with 2 levels. And we telling him, hey man, set this money in the RA, in a trust fund, that this money grow, and don't build now because we don't have the membership. Let's continue to lease out the daycare facility where we can set up our church in their gym facility. Nope, I'm not going to say the name, but they know who they are, and end up going in debt. Because why? People start leaving the church. You didn't have enough membership.
That's
and,
it. That's
and,
it. That's it.
And now, you got, come on, man.
Wait a minute. That faith you were talking about, it's time to show it. And you know what? It don't happen.
It don't happen.
Hey,
look,
you know another thing, since we were talking about that, when you said that, when your dad was preaching, my uncle was a principal, and he taught church on Sunday. I used to go to Bible study with him. Look, when they had jobs, they had more credibility with the people.
Exactly.
Now these young kids, look, I was on my job. I ain't talking about where I worked at. This guy went to Ralph West Church, and he said his son sitting up there every time looking around, rings on his fingers, blinding your eye, and the guy got turned off on that. These people, man, now depend. It's a cooperation.
That's all it is.
You are the look. The preacher is the employee, and you is the employer.
Exactly.
You paying him.
Now, ain't that something?
That the money. When you go to work on your job, you the employee, and the owner company is the employer. It's right. Reversed when you go to church.
It's reversed.
Ain't that something?
Now, ain't that something? That means,
and then, like you said, Rev,
brainwash.
They used to go out, like you said, your dad, and help the elderly, mow yards, people homeless.
I remember those days, Charles. Man, we did
not no more.
Man, dude, you talking about, man, you better, man, shoot, man, them cats ain't going nowhere.
Hey, well, look, man, look, history. When I went back and I studied the Catholic Church, Catholicism, all this stuff, most Christians don't know that the Catholic Church is the one that put your Bible together.
Exactly.
They don't know. This. Oh, they'll say, "What? The Catholic? Oh, they weird." Now, I had to tell the manager of Lowe's. We had a discussion in the Bible, but this is what I'm getting at. Tell them, read the story of Martin Luther. Martin Luther went to Rome pilgrimage from a small community. He said he had a calling from God, and he went to the local monastery. They were making beer, selling it to the people in that small town. And he saw something wrong with that. When he went to Rome, he said these people, the popes live in penthouse. They were having birthday parties, little boys jumping out of it naked. You know what I just said? And they were selling salvation.
Right.
And look, man, this man revolted against the church.
He sure did. A lot of people don't know about that. I remember hearing that story. I was reading it too. I remember reading that story.
They don't know because our people they'll study the stock market. Yeah. They'll study income tax. You can't get them to go study the history of what was given to them.
Well, you're not, because everything. Look at me. Everything is the distraction from what they actually need to know. And I think what it is that wicked men have presented that before weak-minded or spiritually weak folks. So trying to build a spiritual self up, that's out of the question, because, man, look, greed will go and imprison us all. But hey, man.
Hey, what Spike Lee said? Wake up. Look. Most recently, this is another testimony. One of my sister-in-law just came around, and I sent her some information. She was a diehard for years, and her son the one I was telling you about. Remember him about that? Yeah, you talking.
Right.
He thinks like us. So
Oh,
what
that's
happened
good.
is, look, man. This is what you can't get Christian to be understand is sun worship. You go to church on the day of the sun.
Yeah. Well, man, look.
Hey. Now somebody will be throwing rocks at me now for me saying that. But
Well,
look.
yeah. Because it took a while for me. I was like, man, I said, what was that
It
about?
is what it is, man.
It is
It's
what it
sun
is.
worship. You're
And
worshiping the sun. That's why you go to church on Sunday,
exactly.
Monday, moon day, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Mercury. Hey, they won't study.
Well, I mean, because what it is again what we said earlier is that what you're going to do is if the information the truth got exposed, now I'm in a position to basically I have to make a decision, which most people are afraid to make, or change, you know, and then they are saying they can't believe, Charles, that I was lied to.
They can't. Hey, you ever heard? Hey, T. Now watch this, man. When you say it's sun worship, it's not a bad thing.
Right.
But if they told you that, you like what? Hey,
Yeah.
then look, the sun is the savior of the planet.
It is, but they don't understand that concept. That look,
Because they won't study.
look again. It's always going for me. It's going to revert back to I was lied to. That's what they're going to say in their mind. I don't believe they lied. The church lied to me, and here we go. It's just like having a child. You tell your child, you know the truth, but you telling your child, look, this is your opportunity to tell me the truth, and your child
Yeah.
and lie to you
Hey,
right in your face, and
you
you
know
like, I be
that, that
damn.
was a good example.
You
But
like, I be damn. She said that
you
lie
don't
to me.
told the kid and they break the rule and you tell them you know the truth,
Right.
but you
Yeah.
did it anyway.
But you did it anyway.
Hey,
But you
but
know,
the thing, hey man, but the thing, it goes back to what you said is if we had to put a tombstone for what we're talking about,
yeah,
you can't make them believe that somebody would lie to them about
yeah,
the creator.
yeah. It's
You can't make them believe it, man.
yeah, because again, because you like, well, who in the world would do something like that? And then once they learn the history, they have to understand, like, hey man, this was all about control. It's about controlling the masses of people, and then as well as controlling the money, uh, uh, integrating slavery and trickery. I always call it trickery because and then definitely brainwashing. But I'm saying, Charles, this what gets me. Just hear me out on this. How long can you keep lying to me?
Forever.
And and you. I mean, me as a person is saying,
You,
okay,
you using an example. You ain't talking about yourself, but
right. I'm just using an example. I honestly am because like I always use this. I always have to, somebody that you close to. You're like, somebody that you close to. You don't want them to lie to you. You want them to just tell you the truth.
but T, your mom and daddy don't know. They didn't know. Hey, man, watch this.
Excuse me.
If you go back and trace any religion, it's gonna end up the founders and rulers are conquerors that done kill and murder to rule the people.
That's it right
Hey,
there.
go back and study. Hey,
Yeah,
look, just something else you can't make them see. The Bible characters were dictators. It was a king.
yeah,
Can they put you to death if they want you to?
they could.
Yeah. So then look, if you're a king, you're a dictator, right?
Exactly.
But,
Because
but you got
your word is bond. Whatever you say goes.
yeah. So if you ruling over people and they following the laws like in medieval time, and you broke a law, they would behead your butt. They would
Exactly.
kill you.
Quick fast.
No trial or jury.
Yeah.
But
And,
so let's just call it what it is. The kings and queens are dictators.
and it's in. the crazy part about it, you fast forward that to 2024, uh, to me it's gonna head that way, but it's gonna be one world, new world order, or however you want to go, one world order, and that's what I think uh,
What?
it's gonna end up resulting to that. But that's just my opinion.
No, it's
Uh,
true because look, the big gun. Look. Let's talk history. Look, man. Every race of people done ran this planet at one time. Dog people,
yeah, yeah,
Genghis Khan. Let's just be factual. The European rules the planet Earth.
right,
You
right,
got Russia, France, Spain, England, Australia, all of them on the UN. Anybody raised up against them, they
yeah.
gonna lose.
They shut them down.
Yeah.
You, they shut them down.
So when Haiti rebelled,
Oh
and
yeah,
they ran them off the island, but what did the UN and all them say? Okay, you got the island now. Who are you gonna sell all your natural resources to?
right, right,
And they still pay. Look, you get my point. You can be raising tobacco, sugar cane, whatever, but if they got a monopoly, who gonna buy it from you?
right, and pretty much that's why that country is like it is
Yeah,
today,
because they put sanctions on them.
because they fought against them and they couldn't conquer them. And I just think when you I always say excuse me, corner off the market. That's why Haiti can't do. They can't maneuver nothing. You know, they
Yeah.
got and you can't sell to your own people because they don't have no money.
But too, Tig, to add to it, also every race, Africans and every have tribal fights. So it ain't nothing just
Yeah,
that you throwing dirt on European people. All
no.
races done this crap,
All
man.
races done done it. But the thing about it is, when you said human, let me just say this here. Uh, and I know I may get a little backlash, but I think, in my opinion, all the problems that we have in the world is going to result back to the white man. That's just me.
Hey, hey,
That's just me.
wait a
I,
minute, wait a minute.
yeah.
Whoa. You gonna get backlash for telling the truth?
Well, I mean, again, my
You can see that
answer,
with your own eyes, right?
right? But what it is, Charles, and I'm gonna say this because my answer is based on my observation.
Look, man. Look, this what get me. This what. Okay, so this is factual. This is from history. You've had leaders like Gaddafi and them and
Right,
Maduro and them saying, well, the CIA is always in our country trying to overthrow us.
right,
So you got democracy versus what? Totalitarianism. Like
right,
Putin is promoting dictatorship. America promote democracy, and you got countries that they done conquered. Like, look, this is history. You, you,
exactly,
you fought Japan. You still got soldiers there. You fought
right.
Korea. They split it up. You still got soldiers in Germany.
And that's where, like I
Why
said,
the soldiers there? Why the
yeah. I
soldiers
mean,
there?
why? I mean, what you doing?
In other words, I took this from you, but to keep it from you, I got to stay here and make sure you don't try to.
Exactly, and that's terrible. That is
But it goes back to what we're saying. We're not here pouring dirt on. We're just telling history the way that it really is.
that's all it is. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, yeah. It ain't like you plotting a conspiracy here. And
No, these are through observation,
that's what
research,
you said. That's it right there.
and again, some of my opinion, and that's like I said, I get my answer based on my observation, what I have read, not only what I've read and what I heard from other people. So, and I'm talking about people who lived longer than me, so they had firsthand experience. So, when they share these stories, oh, I got to talk about this because that don't even make sense to me. They still doing it. Well, someone sent me something on my Instagram where, shoot, just in hell, I was no more than probably a year old. They still had slaves in Alabama. The woman was talking about. That she had to get up, and her husband had to get up, and all this other. I'm
Did
like,
you see that on the YouTube where that old lady just?
yeah, I said, come on, man, this
Hey, man,
different.
another thing we have to take. What we're being fed, it's just like, to me, it's like a Coke bottle. You got like that bottle you got a big part and a neck part small. All the information coming in us from all these news channels. Trump wasn't lying about a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, look. If you want to be fair about it, look. That stuff Trump did, they say he did about upping the price of the property and lowering it to get money. Everybody do that shit.
Yeah, they already know.
I mean, am I right?
You're right. I mean, they already know.
Hey, so my thing, just like we said, we don't bring politics in. So what me and you talking about, you observing and you see with your own eyes.
Yeah.
And then go check the track record, the rap sheet of what. Look. If is it a bunch of holy people that gave you this stuff? No. You
we already know. No.
Somebody whoop your ass for 400 years, and you couldn't even read the Bible or do nothing like that.
Exactly.
And then they come on, man.
Yeah. And but see, and that's where, like, well, man, do I continue to accept this now as under a systematic rule? No, no.
Just wake up, man. What you saying is real. This is what we saying, man. The Bible teach. The Bible is a bunch of parables that you use in your daily life. Like the prodigal son,
right.
Fam, look, Cain and Abel brothers fighting with each other.
Right.
You give me so what I'm saying is it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm reading. I was in Amway, and they feeding us these books, and this man sitting up there saying these authors that wrote these positive thinking books got all the information out of the Bible. Thinking success principle.
Well, look, okay, I give you a good example on one thing that I had became real vibrant on, because Snow asked me, "You gonna go vote?" I said, "No, I choose not to participate no more. I don't want to participate because my observation led me to not vote again. That's just me." I said, because I have seen no change. I haven't seen change in minimum wage since I was 15 years old. I'm 57 now, Charles. You mean to tell me in America, we still in single digits on the national minimum wage? I can't get involved. I can't, man. I'm not gonna be involved with that. Even with your schools, the poor schools get the worst equipment, the books, all. And you're talking about we in 2024. You mean we're talking about we still going through that? No, I'm not gonna do that. You don't even teach correctly. Your education syllabus sucks. Watch this. You teach the same thing as though you teaching the same thing in Sunday school. Hey man, we don't want to hear about the Good Shepherd and the Good Samaritan. We done heard this story 100 times. Give me something for today application so I can apply to my life now. I'm going through hell. I ain't watching no damn sheep with a robe on, with a hook around my. I'm not doing that. That was back then. That was them people, for them people. Give me something that I can relate to, but they don't do it. It's the same thing, Charles. You teaching the same method. To me, that is brainwashing and programming. So you program these kids to pretty much to remember the same thing, and it don't get them nowhere.
Like you said, you heard those stories. Look. It's simple. It's called religion. We talk about that. Repeat, rewind, restart. Okay, you're repeating the same thing over and over and over.
Exactly.
And so, like you said, it's look. I done graduated from that. I got it. I told, like I'm telling
I got it.
Yeah. Hey, don't kill, don't steal, don't lie, and love thy neighbor as themselves, and turn the other cheek. Somebody slap you, right? I got the story.
Yeah, I got the story.
I don't need to keep going over here every week for you
You drilling
reappliedness.
into me.
So in other words, okay, Charles gonna forget. You need to come back every Sunday. You kind of slow. You know, you didn't. Look, you graduated from elementary, middle school, high school. If you went to college, you graduated from that.
Yeah.
Then when you got on a new job, you graduated from orientation. You learned everything.
Exactly.
And so like you said, it's brainwashing.
It's brainwashing. Yeah, but a lot of people don't know that prefix, the RE part, and they don't understand.
I get mad at these preachers out here. I remember my mother was sick. And we poor people, and she wouldn't go in the church. Mama, they didn't have no money, man. Here come the preachers still collecting tithes at Ohio. We up here from Houston.
What?
Yeah, he's still collecting tithes. Yeah. And you know, like damn box. But like I said, man, is when they quit working and start depending on us to finance their lifestyle, that's when the outlook changed on people looking at religion. Everybody think it's a game. It's a game. Hey, it's pimping. If you can talk me out of something and I give you my money, you pimping me.
Well, I'm the one that get up 4 o'clock in the morning and go to work. You want me?
And some people with 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And then I read a story. Creflo Dollar was going to New York, and they had this in New York in the Houston Chronicle somewhere. This black couple was spending all their money by listening to prosperity. The more you give, you're gonna be rewarded, and they weren't even paying the bills, man. Lights and stuff getting cut off.
No,
come on, man. It's time to wake up.
That's brainwash. Hey, man, look here. Hold your thought on that, and we're gonna be right back on the Very Opinionated Show.
All right.
All right, we are back here live on the Very Opinionated Show with Charles, my man Carter. Hey, man, this has been a good conversation, man. I love it. We got to continue this on the next one. And I just want you to know, man, that I appreciate your insight and input. I knew I was going to get all the answers that I'm going to throw out at you. Because
hey, man,
you learn and let it in the history, man.
Hey, my final sign off is go study and find out and research what you're in, where it come from. Okay?
Amen.
Instead of just taking it carte blanche, I know that they wouldn't lie to me about God. You and I are sitting here. I know look. What makes us different, I can see why, in my opinion, why a person could be an atheist. Because nothing never come forward and say, the ocean I did, the universe I did. Nothing has never come and explain. So what grounds me is, when I look at the universe, Elon Musk can't get to wherever he's trying to go.
Yeah.
And
that's another conversation, because boy, you already know they didn't bust the cap on your boy Armstrong.
I'm gonna leave this with you for black folk. Out of billionaires, they say about 730 to 800 billionaires. We can name them: Oprah, Rihanna, Michael Jordan, Jay-Z. Let's give 2 or 3 businessmen, maybe. That's 10. I looked up how many Hispanic billionaires, about 10, 12. Did I just say it was 730? So that left, you took 20 from it, It's 710 billionaires. What am I trying to make you see?
Man,
You ain't
they
running
all,
nothing.
they all is not of color. I
No,
see
it
that.
look, it says about 3 million millionaires black and about 25 million of other color.
Wow.
Look, man, look. On this place right here where we live, money runs this place, man.
Yeah, yeah.
The have and the have nots.
That's all it is. That's what I learned, and that's my observation on that. You know, but man, look, we're gonna have to pick this back up, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Don't close out. Don't close out yet. So, but we're gonna end
I
the
wish.
show. Don't close,
Hey,
don't close out. But we're gonna end the show, the Very Opinionated Show. I'll see you next time on the Very Opinionated Show with the J I am. Yeah, man.